Hello and welcome to the Bacchus TV. I'm your Tipsy Gypsy host, Kira Miller, and I will be bringing you the latest wine-related news, along with how-tos and interviews with people of the vine. On Saturday, June 9th, the San Diego Fair held its first ever competition of wine. The event included 36 wineries and 72 wines, which were judged by a panel of experts during a blind tasting. And I might add, which I will because it's my show, I had an hour and a half to do this. 72 wines does not equal an hour and a half. Holy Toledo Batman. Granted, the festival was open from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. It was entirely my own fault. And the fair cut me off at exactly 5 p.m. sharp. No tip for them. The competition provided wineries in San Diego with a chance to get their name out there. While most people are familiar with California's northern wine-growing region like Napa Valley and the Russian River Valley, the smaller and relatively newer wine-growing regions in Southern California are much less known. These regions, for those of you who don't already know, are officially known as American Viticulture Areas, or the AVAs. San Diego County has two AVAs, Ramona Valley and San Pasqual Valley. But enough about AVAs. Everyone wants to hear about the wine, right? The panel named Fallbrook Winery's 33-degree North Rosado as the wine of the year. The winery consists of 36 acres resting between the Pacific coast and the Pala Mesa Mountains, and it is not hard to see why it won. I typically don't favor a rosé wine, but this wine was delicious. It was light and refreshing. Yeah, I know everybody says a rosé is light and refreshing, but I'm serious, this one really was. This is a wine I would love to enjoy, say, at a hot barbecue during the summer or, while relaxing at the beach. Okay, let's be honest, I don't like the beach. So how about a boat? Yeah, that sounds good. A boat. Anybody want to buy me a boat? Another wine your intrepid Tipsy Gypsy host had the joy of sampling was a strawberry stiletto. Out of these three wines, the plum was easily my favorite. But look at those heels. If you pick out your bottle based solely on the coolness of a label, this wine is for you. These three wines were fruit wines, which are typically made from fermented fruit. In this case, they had strawberry, chocolate strawberry, and an amazing plum. And not plum like the Japanese plum line you see in the international aisle at the liquor store. This next wine is worth mentioning because of the story behind it. Before I even tasted the 2008 Merlot, I was warned that it was very smoky, and they were right. It smelled like smoke, and it tasted like smoke. A little too smoky for me, but definitely an interesting taste. In 2007, San Diego County was covered in hundreds of thousands of acres of fire. Apparently, all that smoke made its mark on the wine. Before I talk about some of the other wines, let me go over my wine tasting tips. Wine tasting tips, Tipsy Gypsy style. By no means is this a professional opinion of any sort. Rule number 1, never judge a wine by its color. Color can tell you an age, but sometimes wines are meant to be drunk young and some old. Rule number 2, always taste with a friend. It's nice to talk about it or watch their expression after they taste. Rule number 3, always stick your nose way, way, way down in the glass before tasting. Try to get a sense of the wine's essence. Rule number 4, aerate the wine with your teeth. Okay, this might need further instruction. Hold the wine in your mouth. Suck air into your mouth as if you were drinking out of a straw, but don't swallow. This will cause the wine to breathe. A warning though, if you are drinking something that has pepper undertones, wowza, be prepared for some spice. Rule number 5, have fun. If you're not having fun, then you're doing it wrong. Twin Oaks Valley Winery is worth mentioning because of its intense peppery flavor I got from the wine. Intense, but amazing. Vinavanti Wine is owned by a guy named Eric. You'll see him in just a moment. His wine was good, and he used to live in Illinois for a bit, in a suburb of Chicago called Aurora. Some of you may know it is the setting of Wayne's World. Believe me, Aurora is not nearly as cool as Wayne World makes it out to be. I mention this because I'm from the greater Chicagoland area. Eric is all right in my book, and so is his wine. He is also opening a tasting room in Sorrento Valley come July 7th. This happy man is another Eric. Apparently, Eric is a popular name for the San Diego wine industry. Good thing I am also connected to an Eric of my own. This Eric is president of Lenora Winery. The wine was pretty good. I just like the name of this winery, Witch Creek. Made me smile. Or was it from all the tasting that I had done up to this point? Probably both. This wine with the Mountain Man label is a real man's wine. I would drink this watching football. I'm normally not one to say bad things, well, about wine anyways, but this is worth mentioning from Highland Hills Winery. Cat pee is a smell used to describe certain wines. This was one of them. Now you may be wondering about the random photos of myself next to some famous Star Wars icons. Well, they were also at the San Diego County Fair, but they were attending the garden show. Like any good California transplant, I had to ask for a photo. I never pegged Darth Vader as a connoisseur of flowers, but I've been fooled before. This has been another episode of the Bacchus TV. I'm your Tipsy Gypsy host signing off, and remember, don't drink anything I wouldn't drink.